All right. Well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And Michael is going to light our candle and explain the reasons why we light it, what the two wicks mean.
Yes. Well, hi, good morning. And uh, I'm lighting a candle today. The first wick I light represents the light of God in you, as you, and through you. Okay. As it keeps popping. And the second light I light is that of the community candle. And again, together we shine a much greater light into the world. Thank you.
Right. Well, thank you. And John, you want to go ahead and lead us in a song?
All right. See, here it is. Here we are together. Here we are for being together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for being, for good, for better. Here we are for healing together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for healing, for good, for better. Here we are for wisdom together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for wisdom, for good, for better. Here we are for love together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for love, for good, for better. Here we are.
Thank you, John. And hello, Carol Ann. It's good to see you. And yes, we are doing our finishing up our weekly January or our month of January time where we go over the introduction of the uh, science of mind. And today's going to be how to use it. Michael will talk about that. So that's pretty much what's going on here. And Michael, you want to do the reading?
Sure. Today is the 26th day of January, and this is from the Science Mind 365. The affirmative thought today is right action prevails in my affairs. Right action prevails in my affairs. Say that to yourself silently. Right action prevails in my affairs. From Mark 11, the 24th verse. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. And from the commentary of Dr. Ernest Holmes, he says, there could be no more explicit technique for effective prayer than this, laid down by the Master himself. We actually are to believe that we already possess the object of our desire when we ask for it. We are to accept it even as we believe in the harvest that follows the spring planting. Therefore, every spring should be one of hope, and every harvest should be one of fulfillment. We must learn to accept the good we desire and affirm its presence in our experience. So pray with me. The words of Dr. Ernest Holmes. It says, realizing that there is a law of good that governs my affairs, I now loose every thought of doubt and fear or uncertainty, and I accept the good that I desire here and now. Realizing that this law of good not only knows how to create, but must contain within itself all the details of its own creation. So I let go of the need to say how my good shall come and accept this perfect answer today. And feeling a deep sense of gratitude and joy because of this, I live enthusiastically and with calm and happy anticipation of more good yet to come. And because there's no sense of strain in this, I relax in quiet containment and quiet contentment, while at the same time realizing that what the law of good does for me, it must do through me. So I declare that not only do I know what to do, but I am impelled to act, to move objectively. I move into a greater sphere of action and of life with complete certainty, calm confidence, and limitless trust. Today, everything of good in my experience is reanimated, reborn, and increased. And gladly I accept this and place no limits on the divine givingness. From Science of Mind 365.
Yay. All right, John, you want to lead us in a song? Can't hear you. There you go.
Loving is the way in what we think, do or say. Loving is the way. Loving today. Be in peace. Being kind, being now, loving mind. Peace is the way in what we think, do or say. Peace is the way. Peace today. Being peace, being kind, being now, thing. Kindness is the way in what we think, do, say. Kindness is the way. Kindness today.
And as we take in a deep breath and just release and relax and just let go, we take in another deep breath. And as you allow your chair to support you and let go of any tension in your body, from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, let's take in one more great big deep breath. And let this go. And just know with me that Spirit is lifting us up, holding us, and lifting us up in every way. For Spirit, God, Creator, Mind, the universe, whatever you want to call the great I am, is everything. Not only did it create all, it's in all, through all, as all. Is love and peace, joy and wisdom, power and beauty, light and life, wholeness and wisdom, prosperity and abundance. It is everything. It is everywhere present, not only in each individual, but it is also in everything. It's in the world. It is in the flowers and the trees and the grass and the grains of sand and the mountains, the oceans, the animals, the fish, the insects, the rocks, the trees. Her presence is everywhere. For God is everywhere, everywhere. And because it is everywhere and created each and every one of us, we are one with all that is. We are one with that power and presence, that mind, that activity, that oneness, that completeness, that beauty, that peace, that joy, that power. And it is everything. So as I speak my word today for Summit Center for Spiritual Living, and each and every person that is here, or the one, or who can hear my sound of my voice, or come with us later, watch us later, whatever the case may be, I am grateful and I am thankful for each and every person that is here. I give thanks for Michael doing the speaking today, for John doing the music, for Hannah doing the Facebook feed, for Kyle being here, for Carol Ann being here, for Deb and Wayne being here, and for those who may not be on camera that are joining us at a later time or currently. I'm just grateful and thankful for each and every one. For I know that Spirit is through us and in us and as us. And every part of Spirit is expressing in us. So peace and power and love and joy and beauty is there. Prosperity and abundance is there, and wholeness and completeness. So I know for our situation, each individual situation, that whatever challenges they may be facing right here and right now, whether it's health, wealth, prosperity, emotionally, just needs in general, I know that they're being met right here and right now, being taken care of, and that peace ultimately lives and shows, and love shows it the way. No matter what the situation, whether it's with the government, whether it's with the world leaders, whether it's with just unimaginable things at the moment, the fires, the people dealing with the fires and the storms, and just know that each and every one of them are protected, that the firefighters are protected as they get the fires under control, and that all the people who've been helping with the storms and the blizzards, and that they just are being protected as well. So I give thanks. I give thanks for all the good that is happening right here, right now, this moment, and that continues to happen each and every moment of each and every day, as the positive force, positive power of spirit shines through. So as I give thanks, I just give thanks one more time and release my word into the law, knowing it is done. And so it is, and so I let it be. Amen.
Peace. Be kind. Be now. Loving mind. Loving is the way. Loving is the way. Loving is the way. Loving
Thank you. And as you open your eyes, come back to the room, please take a moment to also open your cameras and take a look into each other's eyes and feel that magnificent spirit of each and every individual. See in their eyes that peace and love and joy and beauty. For it is there in each and every hand. All right. Well, thank you. And so I am going to turn this over to Michael, because he is going to give us our last chapter, because we've already talked about the thing itself, how it works, how to use it. No, wait a minute. Thing itself, what it does, how it works. You're finishing it up. Let's let you finish it up. I'll let you say all the four things that I just couldn't say.
The thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it.
Okay.
And aren't all those all about the same thing?
About the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. So, hey, good morning. How are you? End of January already, huh? So again, the lessons in January, I know when I was growing up in the teaching, back in the uh, back in the late 80s, early 90s, that the centers would go ahead and to teach on the first four. Uh, they're not chapters, but it's part of the introduction to the Science of Mind textbook. The first chapter follows the introduction. So the tradition was to do that every year in January, is to talk about the thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. The reason being, again, to remind us of this great teaching in the fundamentals. The thing is that with anything, that the fundamentals are important. Again, the tendency in spiritual circles is for people want to be taught something new rather than applying what they already know. So before we go on and talk about how to use it, let's review the past 3 lessons. And a story I like using is the one of Michael Jordan, who is said to have practiced harder than playing the day of the game. And the reason being is that when that he was in pressure situations, that it was just like he was in practice, and he was able to perform whatever that it was, do a 3-point or a layup or the game winning shot through the basket. But again, that was all practiced before he went on to the floor. The thing that, and the reason why we go over and over this is again, that we want you to, and my desire is for you to respond from a spiritual perspective of the teaching rather than react. The reaction is, oh my God, I don't know what to do, and so on. But the response is, okay, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to turn within. I'm going to get the answer that I need. So the thing itself is God. And that's what helps me with that first title. Again, remember, of the introductions, remembering that the thing itself is God. From what we believe, Ernest Holmes said, we believe in God, the living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. So it doesn't matter what you name it. Allah, Jehovah, the great I am, all good. There's only one infinite source that we all come from. So again, from some people coming from traditional religious backgrounds, the word God gives them images of a great man sitting on a great white throne, judging every action as good and bad, ready to condemn you to that very hot place called HE double toothpicks or hell forever and ever because of your sins. Well, in the science of mind, what we do is we teach that this one absolute and self-existent cause is unconditional love, condemning no one and no thing. God is love. So this great presence and power is everywhere present, powerful, and all-knowing, omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. You'll hear practitioners say those 3 things. Also, Dr. Holmes also wrote in the teaching that we can use this one great power to our advantage to make life a joyful experience. In some centers for spiritual living now, they don't even use the term God because of all the negative connotations that it brings up from past experiences. They don't even like calling the teaching Christian or Christian based because, again, all the negative connotations that come up with that word. So how I do it and how we do it at this center is that we talk about God so that you may have a better experience with that term and have also positive associations with that term. So the way it works, that's the second section, is about using spiritual laws and principles to our advantage. It's by knowing and the application of these laws that our lives become much better. Go against those spiritual laws, and what happens? Our lives become a living hell physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So God is love, and also God is also law. And ignorance of the law is no excuse. And again, the idea that I like to use is the idea of electricity. You can either use it to light a room, or if done improperly, you can also use it to kill you. And so that's why I say it's the use of it. It's not the electricity, but it's our use of it. So that's the reason why we are in New Thought. That's the reason why we come to a Science of Mind center, is to learn these spiritual laws and principles so that we can use them to our advantage. So the thing itself is God. The way it works is by spiritual laws and principles. What it does is to create. Again, the thing itself is God. The way it works is by spiritual laws and principles, and what it does is create. So in all the Holy Scriptures from all the major traditions, they say that we were made in the image and likeness of our Creator. So what does traditional religion do? What it does, it separates us from the source. It puts a distance between us and God. So in this teaching, again, this is the teaching of the mystics, is that you and God are one. We are made in the image and likeness of our Creator. So our lives are now picturing of what we plant from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, both being one with the universal mind of God. So the challenge is that most of this stuff that we have experienced was planted in there by other people, by our parents, society, and also race consciousness, which is the sum total of all the beliefs on the planet. So if we were made in a perfect image and likeness of our Creator, how do we then start changing ourselves so that we experience our divinity? I'm glad you asked that question. Because the fourth section of the introduction of the Science of Mind text, Ernest Holmes, who we respectfully call Dr. Holmes, who had, again, really no college education, but received several honorary doctorates, of which you can go see at the Science of Mind archives at the Unity Village, is that Dr. Holmes began to show us how to use it. So in the beginning paragraphs of that section, it says, one of the great difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. That we cannot prove may or may not be true, but that which we can prove definitely must be and is the truth. So he goes on to say that the sciences are objectively real to us insofar as we can demonstrate them. And until they are demonstrated, they are suppositional, so far as practical results are concerned. If there is any field of research where the practical application is necessary, it is in the metaphysical field. The reason being is that the principles of metaphysics seem less tangible to the average person than does the principles of other science. As a matter of fact, and this is where Ernest Holmes takes out his highlighter, anything that he goes ahead and italicizes or puts in capital letters, pay attention, because he says that all principles are as intangible. But the world at large has yet to come to consider the principle of mental practice in the same light that it considers other given principles of life and action. So the next part, again, is in italics. So pay attention. It is apparent intangibility is lessened whenever and wherever anyone, you or I, actually demonstrates the supremacy of spiritual thought force over apparent material resistance. I'll say it again. Its apparent intangibility is lessened whenever and wherever anyone actually demonstrates the supremacy of spiritual thought force over apparent material resistance. So theory is great. But so what? And again, the tendency is to keep saying, oh, teach me something new. Well, I'll teach you something new when you start practicing what you already know. So, what makes our lives work is the actual application of these principles. And again, yours truly has studied many major religions, philosophies, and psychologies. From my studies, there is nothing more powerful than the science of mind and spirit. And also, they all lead back to the science of mind and spirit. So, prosperity teacher Catherine Ponder says this: we need to read less and apply more. And so she says that for every 15 minutes of reading, that we should do 5 to 10 minutes of actual practice. And the reason being is that their theory is only as good as we can prove in our lives through actual demonstration. So Holmes continues on the chapter. He says, there is no doubt about the mutability and the availability of the law. The law is infinite. It is right where we happen to be at any given time. So imagine that we are right in this midst of this universal law, which is out picturing in our atmosphere what we are putting into it, consciously or subconsciously. So this law occupies all space and fills every form with differentiations of itself. The law always flows through us because it flows through everything. And since we exist, it must be in and through us. Ernest Holmes goes on, this is the crux of the whole matter. Infinite and immutable as the law is, ever present and available as it must be, the potential possibility of all human probability, it must flow through us in order to manifest for us. And I'll say it again. It must flow through us to manifest for us. So how the law works in our favor. I'm going to make 3 key points here. If you don't get anything else, again, please get these 3 key points. The first one is that the law works for us by our conscious direction of it. That's the first point. The second point is right thinking through the use of spiritual mind treatment. And the third is the mindset that we keep treating until we get results. So, the first one. So, if we want our lives to change, if we want our lives to work, we must take charge of our lives by recognizing our own divinity and then give conscious direction to that great law of life to reveal our perfection. Holmes wrote this. He says, it's been proven that by thinking correctly And by a conscious mental use of the law of mind, we can cause it to do definite things for us through us. By conscious thinking, we give conscious direction to it, and it consciously or unconsciously responds to our advance along the lines of our conscious or subjective direction. This law we did not create, this law we cannot change. We can use it correctly only as we understand and use it according to its nature. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole book. It says, hence, it follows that if we believe that it will not work, it really does work by appearing not to work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does. It only does according to our belief that it will, that it won't, or that it will not. This is our own punishment through the law of cause and effect. Again, Ernest Holmes. We do not enter in because of our doubts and fears. It's not a punishment that's imposed upon us by the Spirit of God, but an automatic result of the failing constructively to use the law of God. Holmes again, it says, God does not punish the mathematician who fails to obtain the right answer to his problem. The thought of the unsolved problem does punish him until he applies right principles and thus secures the desired result. Thus, sin and punishment, righteousness and salvation are logical reactions of the universe to the life of the individual. So the master teacher Jesus was right when he says, it is done unto you as you believe. So the Reverend Michael Mangus translation of that includes the words, it is done unto us as we believe or not. So to change our lives, we must consciously give direction to the law. And again, how do you do that? It again, by focusing and centering in on yourself. And again, giving direction to yourself. So we give direction to the law by praying the answer and not the problem. And in my research of parapsychology is that it is showing that prayer in its most powerful form is done by intention form. It's just that the parapsychologists, they say, well, we don't know how it works. But there is, again, really good data. There really is good explanation as individuals use this great law for their advantage, that it is there. So command you me, that's written from the book of Job. So again, please don't wonder how it's to happen. Everybody says, well, I have no idea how it's to happen. Well, don't, because you don't. But allow the great law of life to do its perfect work. Accept the feeling in your own consciousness by feeling that's already done. And by assuming the feelings of the answered treatment. It's like, again, if I give you a present, besides, hopefully you'll say thank you, but what kind of feelings do you have when you receive a present? See, and again, that's the same feelings that we need to adopt when we do prayer work. So command the law to clean out anything in your unconscious that keeps you from experiencing your divine nature of love, joy, peace, plenty, and happiness. So we continue to use the law by giving it right direction through our use of right thinking and the steps of spiritual mind treatment, which are recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. So I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I was producing a program. I'll mention his name, Reverend Skip Jennings. And Reverend Skip said that at his previous church that they were giving him pushback and crap about that he added another step to the 5 steps of treatment. that in the tradition from Michael Beckwith's church, or from Agape, is they add a sixth step, which is at the very beginning, which is gratitude. They start off with the feeling of gratitude. So they were giving Skip crap about teaching that and about applying that. Oh, we just, we're science of mind. We only do the 5. It's like, no. The 5 steps were meant as a guide of consciousness, and it was meant by Dr. Owen Moen, who was the dean of the Institute of Religious Science. It was meant as a teaching tool, again, to make treatment, again, more teachable and also more accessible. It was not meant to be, thus saith the Lord. Okay, so, but again, Holmes only talked about recognition, unification, and then a realization step. That's all he talked about in the Science of Mind textbook. So, everyone in this room should know how to give a spiritual mind treatment. If you don't, please contact me or get into our next foundations class, which will be coming up really soon. So, what Holmes says is this: we should be able to look a discordant fact in the face and deny its reality, since we know it seemingly is borrowed from illusion, from chaos of the old night. Our standard is one of perfection, Holmes wrote. Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So we should be able to look at a wrong condition with the knowledge that we can change it. We can change it. The realization that we have this ability must be gained by the application of our knowledge. So we must actively apply these principles through practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Well, you practice. So Holmes also wrote this: a practitioner uses thought definitely and for specific purposes. And the more definitely that he uses the law, the more directly it will respond to him. While it is true that you are experiencing whatever that you're experiencing, wrong conditions, they could not remain unless there were someone to experience them. Consequently, the experience must be where? It must be in consciousness. So change the consciousness, and what happens? The false condition will disappear. Conditions are not entities. We are entities. Cannot that which is conscious can't cast out that which has no consciousness? If we properly understood, Holmes wrote, we would be able to remove false conditions as easily as Jesus did. He knew, but our faith is weak. We must, though, strengthen it, and we can. So if you would like a treatment from this chapter written out, and I will be more than happy to send it to you, all you need to do is request it, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. And read it morning and evening for 21 days. See what happens. So our last point is that we must treat until we get results. So again, after this written treatment the written treatment's already in the How It Works chapter, or How It Works section. It says, Holmes wrote this: healing and demonstration takes place as our minds become attuned to the truth of being. There is no process of healing, but there generally is a process in healing. And this process is the time and the effect and the effort which we undergo in the realization of our truth. So technically, you really only need to treat once. And you are encouraged to treat with the attitude that you only need to do it once. The truth is that we are whole, perfect, and complete. The process of healing is neutralizing all the subconscious junk and unbelief. So a practitioner friend of mine said that there's really only one realization step. It may take you a while to get there, but you keep treating until you get results. Dr. Holmes says one should treat any given proposition until he proves his principles, no matter how long it takes. We should treat until we get results, until it comes into our objective experience, the actual outpouring of our subjective words. And again, when we treat for someone else, speak the name of this person into mind and then proceed with the treatment. Holmes then suggests this: the one, you and I, the one who wishes to scientifically work out his problems must take time to meditate and to mentally treat the condition, no matter what the apparent contradictions may be. He is working silently in the law, and the law will find an outlet through his faith in it. This law is the law which puts the action into all action. It is the invisible actor working through us to will and to do. As a result of right treatment, the mold is formed in the subjective mind. By the treatment makes possible a concrete manifestation, as within, so without. The treatment is an intelligent energy in the invisible world. It is a spiritual entity working through the law of mind, and it is the actual force now consciously directed. Therefore, it must produce specific results. So to sum this all up, again, how we are to use it effectively is, number one, giving new direction, consciously realizing that you are one with this infinite presence and power. So you must plant new seed. You must plant new seed. And when you come up with a weed in your thought, again, and I've done this, just I think of the thought as a weed and I pull it out and throw it away. So that's a good mental image. So you must give new direction to the law. That's the first part. The second part is learning how to pray and think correctly using affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. And then the third point is never, 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 ever give up. Treat until you get results. Try the 21-day challenge. Write me and I'll send you the treatment, or it's in the how to use it section of the Science of Mind text. It absolutely positively will change your life, I promise. So Holmes finalizes the chapter by writing this: a new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderline of a new experience. And again, he wrote this back in the 20s and 30s. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into the visible through our faith in it. A new science, a new religion, a new philosophy are rapidly being developed. This is in line with the evolution of the Great Presence, and nothing can hinder its progress. It is useless as well as foolish to make any attempt to cover this principle or to hold it as a vested right of any religion, sect, or order. The truth will out, and the spirit will make itself known. Happy are we, you and I, if we see things which, from the foundation of the human race, have been longed for by all the aspiring souls. True thought, Holmes wrote, deals directly with first cause. And the science is a study of first cause, spirit, or truth, that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes from, the power back of all creation. This is the thing itself. Thank you. Namaste. I salute the divinity as you.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you. And as if we that part of hence, therefore, it works because you think it doesn't work because you think it doesn't work type deal is so true. Because when we think that it doesn't work, it does work. So anyways, really keep that in mind that as long as we start thinking positive ways instead of negative ways and change our thinking to the positive as opposed to the negative, things happen. And that's what's going to happen with our situation with our current political situation. As long as we keep it in the positive and somehow figure it out, know that it's happening positively, that the best is happening, it happens. Okay, so thank you. That was very good. Anybody else want to make a comment?
Well, it just summed it up. It was excellent. Just what we need to rehearse and recycle, repeat.
Absolutely. Carolyn?
Yeah, I love that last part of the introduction. To me, it just so takes the whole book and says, okay, here's how it works, here's what you do, go do it. And yeah, and I cannot read it too many times. It is that powerful. And the great thing, it works if you work it. It almost is like, I think that comes out of AA. It works if you work it. Yeah, but it's true. It works.
Kyle, did you have something to say?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. John, you want to go ahead and do a song?
Oh, already? Okay. Well, this is a song that should summarize the thing itself and what it does and so on. It's called One Power. There is a power in everything, a creative force, intelligent and wise. Like clouds block the sun from our view, there is a light that we cannot see with our eyes. One power is forever being present here and everywhere, living, changing, and creating, loving and aware. What to say, what to do, how to be, where to go. There is an underlying question, who is aware to know. One power is forever being present here and everywhere, living, changing, and creating, loving and aware. Knowing, acting, living well, being what there is to be. One power is creative and active, presenting all we see. One power is forever being present here and everywhere, living, changing, and creating, loving and aware.
Thank you, John. It's very nice. Alrighty, it's that time in our service where we give have the opportunity to give. There are several ways you can give. You can go to Zelle or you can go to PayPal. And you would put in at ssc of Akron at gmail.com. That's ssc of Akron at gmail.com. And you can give either way, or you can send a check with the word summit on it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310. And as we take our right hand over our top of left and just know that all that we receive, all that we give, all that is given is done in a very special way. It is done in love, it is done in peace and joy. And it is not only does it go to the work of Summit Center for Spiritual Living, it goes to the universe and to the best of all. And I just give thanks. And so it is. Amen. Hey, John, how about some good, more good?
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. The good more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
Okay, thank you. It is time for announcements. Michael?
Yes. We have wonderful things happening. The meditation class on Wednesday evenings is closed. So the reason I tell you that is because the next time we offer it, get in it. Okay. Just meditating with Carol. She's not in the room right now. Okay. But just meditating with Carol Ann Drick is wonderful. So, but again, we're learning some wonderful techniques. But so the next time, please show up. Please be there. Great programming on New Thought Media Network. That's what I spend most of my week doing. New Thought, ntmedia.org, and take a look. Go onto YouTube. All of our programs, the ones that I do, are on our Facebook page. So the reason I do it is because it does drive traffic, and people have been watching more our Facebook page because of the programming on it. And as Diana said, take a look at my show on Friday evening, and it was a good one. I had on Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, and we had a very good discussion. So,
yeah, I highly suggest people see that one. It was very, very good.
Okay.
John, before you do your announcement, I just want to let everybody know I have got the ties done. I just have to get some, have to print them off and then get some stamps and get them out in the mail to you. So that'll be this week. So, all right.
And next Sunday is our anniversary Sunday, and we have a 25 years. And next Sunday we have again very special guest, Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, friend of mine, often on my show. He's spoken here before, but really his lessons are very good, and so please join us next week. So as we have a celebration. I think that we need to let's have a celebration sometime this year of our 25 years, maybe a picnic or something. So
okay. Well, my site, of course, is yeswise.com. Easy to spell, YESWISE, where you'll find Yes Wise in the Spirit, my little inspirational messages. And my seminars now started this holistic natural health wellness seminar, and I've done 3 episodes with one more coming this week. But check that out to learn how to be healthy and stay that way. And yeswise.com. I apologize, I missed the meditation the other night. I'm an old man with too much to do, I guess is what I'll say, but I'll be there this week.
Carol Ann, did you have anything to say?
Just for everybody really to take Reverend Michael's, what he said today, into their heart and start using it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So that's that moment where we'll do a moment of silence, and I'll ring us in and then I'll ring us out. And what I want you to do is to bring into mind anybody who may need some special healing, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, prosperity, abundance, the world, whatever it may be. And just know that it is already taken care of because we know it's done. All right, so I'll bring us in, and again, I'll ring us out. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God unfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Real and true. Life is real. Life is true. We are life, living as me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. Living as me and you.
And thank you, John, for that. Thank you, everyone, and grateful for that. And Hannah, when you can end our Facebook feed and let us know when it's done. I think she's there. Try to end it.
She has become a shadow
Yes, she has.
of her former
Shadow
self.
of herself.